I floated through the empty rooms, the air still and cold, waiting. The house had been quiet for so long. Dust settling on the floors, sunlight filtering through cracked blinds. Then, the sound of a car engine outside. Doors opening, voices. They were here. Rebecca stepped out first, her dark hair tied back. Face tired from the long drive. She was in her late 30s, wearing a simple coat over jeans, carrying a bag slung over her shoulder. Her husband, Chris, followed, tall and broad, with a beard that hid his worried expression. He unloaded boxes from the SUV, his movements heavy, like he was carrying more than just cardboard. Their daughter, Chloe, 16, slammed the car door, earbuds and scrolling on her phone. She had the teenage slouch, hair dyed a faded blue, avoiding eye contact with her parents. And the boy, young Tyler, no. Wait, Tyler wasn't there. Not anymore. But they didn't know I was him, or what I was. The house was in a suburb of New York, old brownstone style, 3 stories with creaky stairs and high ceilings. It looked normal from outside, brick facade, small yard with wilted grass from winter. But inside, it held secrets. They had bought it cheap after the market crash. A fresh start after losing their old place. Rebecca worked in real estate, ironic now. Chris was in finance, but jobs were scarce in 2025. Chloe hated the move, leaving her friends behind. They entered, the door creaking open. I hovered in the corner of the living room, unseen. Feeling their warmth disrupt the cold, Rebecca set down her bag and looked around. "It's bigger than the photos," she said, her voice echoing slightly. Chris nodded, dropping a box. "Needs work, but it's ours." He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Chloe wandered upstairs without a word, her footsteps thumping on the wood. I followed her, gliding silently. Her room was at the end of the hall, with a window overlooking the street. She threw her backpack on the bed and sat, staring out. I lingered near the closet, sensing her sadness. She missed her old life, her friends, and something else. Guilt, maybe, about me, about Tyler. Downstairs, Rebecca unpacked kitchen stuff, plates, cups, all wrapped in newspaper. The headlines were old, from last year, talking about economic woes. Chris fiddled with the thermostat, but the heat clicked on slowly. The house was always cold, no matter what. That night, they ate takeout Chinese on the floor. Boxes around them. Chloe picked at her food. "This place smells weird," she said. "Like wet dog or something." "It's just old," Rebecca replied. "We'll air it out." But it wasn't the smell. It was me. My presence, filling the spaces. Later, in the dark, I watched Rebecca and Chris in bed. They whispered about money, about Chloe's moods. "She's still grieving," Rebecca said softly. "Tyler, it's been a year." But Chris hugged her. "We'll get through it." I moved away, down the hall to Chloe's room. She was awake, phone glowing under the covers, tears on her cheeks. She thought about the accident, the one that took me her. Brother Tyler, 14, hit by a car while protecting her from a bully. She blamed herself. The house settled with pops and creaks. Chloe heard them and sat up. "Hello?" she whispered. I stayed still, but the air shifted. She felt it, a chill, like someone breathing nearby. The next day was mundane. Unpacking boxes, arguing over where to put furniture. Chris fixed a leaky faucet, water dripping steadily until he tightened it. Rebecca cleaned windows, wiping away grime that had built up. Chloe helped reluctantly, stacking books on shelves, classics like To Kill a Mockingbird, mixed with her young novels. But small things happened. A picture frame fell off the wall when no one was near. Chris blamed the nails. The lights dimmed. For a second during dinner, wiring's old, he said. Chloe felt it most. In her room, she found her drawer open, clothes rumpled like someone searched them. "Mom, did you go through my stuff?" "No." "Why?" "Nothing." That night, Chloe woke to a noise, a soft thump downstairs. She crept down, phone flashlight on. The living room was empty. but a chair was moved slightly. She froze, feeling eyes on her. "Tyler," she whispered, hopeful and scared. I was there, watching over her, protecting, like always. Rebecca noticed Chloe's pale face in the morning. "Bad dream." "Yeah," Chloe lied. The days blurred, grocery shopping at the local store where prices were high due to inflation. Chris job hunting online. Resume set into the void. Rebecca calling clients, voice cheerful but strained. Chloe texting friends back home, feeling isolated. One evening, as rain pattered on the roof, Chloe sat in the attic, finding old boxes left by previous owners' yellowed photos, dusty toys. She found a small mirror, cracked. Looking in, she saw a shadow behind her. She spun nothing. But I was there, closer now. The danger was coming. Not from me, but something else. I had to wait. The air grew heavier each day. The presence undeniable but subtle. They dismissed its stress, new house jitters. But it built, slow and steady, like a storm gathering. Asterisk I drifted through the walls, my essence brushing against the old wood, the peeling paint. The house creaked under my presence. But the family didn't notice, not yet. They were caught up in their routines, their worries, their grief. I stayed close to Chloe, always Chloe. She felt me, even if she didn't understand. The second week in the house was gray and wet, rain tapping the windows like impatient fingers. Rebecca was on her laptop in the dining room, answering emails from clients who wanted houses she couldn't sell. The market was bad, and her voice was sharp when she talked on the phone. "Yes, I know the rates are high, but we can find something." She hung up, rubbing her temples. I hovered near the chandelier, its bulbs dim and flickering. Chris was in the garage, sorting tools he hadn't used in years. A hammer, a screwdriver, a rusty wrench. He was trying to fix a shelf that wobbled, but his hands shook. He'd been laid off 6 months ago, and the job interviews weren't going well. He muttered to himself, "Gotta keep it together for them." I felt his heaviness, like a stone in his chest. I wanted to help, but I wasn't strong enough, not yet. Chloe stayed in her room most of the day, music blasting through her earbuds. She was sketching in a notebook, dark, jagged lines, faces with no eyes. She didn't know why she drew them. I did. I was in her head, just a little, my memories mixing with hers. The accident, the screech of tires, my body pushing her out of the way. She stopped drawing, her pencil snapping in her hand. "Stupid," she whispered, throwing the notebook across the room. It hit the wall and fell open, pages splayed like broken wings. Downstairs, the TV was on. Some news channel talking about gas prices climbing again. $5.20 a gallon now. Rebecca turned it off, annoyed. "We don't need more bad news," she said to no one. The house answered with a creak from the ceiling. She looked up, frowning, but shrugged it off. The night, Chloe couldn't sleep. The rain was louder, drumming on the roof. She sat on her bed, scrolling through old photos on her phone. Pictures of me, Tyler, grinning at the beach, building a snowman, stealing her fries at a diner. Her thumb hovered over a photo of us together, taken a month before I died. Her eyes were wet. "I'm sorry," she whispered. I wanted to touch her, to tell her it wasn't her fault, but I was only air, only cold. I moved closer, and the mirror on her dresser shivered. Chloe gasped, dropping her phone. The mirror showed her reflection and something else, a shadow, tall and thin, standing behind her. She spun around, but the room was empty. Her breath was fast, her hands shaking as she grabbed the mirror and turned it to face the wall. "Mom," she called, running downstairs. Rebecca was in the kitchen, making tea. "What's wrong?" "I saw something," Chloe said, voice small. "In my mirror." It was there. Rebecca sighed, setting down her mug. "Honey, it's an old house. Shadows play tricks. You're stressed." "It wasn't a shadow," Chloe snapped. "It was real." Rebecca hugged her, but Chloe pulled away. "You don't believe me." I do, Rebecca said, but her voice was tired, not convincing. Let's check your room. They went upstairs together. I followed, keeping my distance. The mirror was still turned around. Rebecca flipped it back, inspecting it. See, nothing. Chloe stared at the glass, her reflection pale. It was there. She insisted. Rebecca softened. Okay, if it happens again, tell me. We'll figure it out. But Chloe didn't sleep in her room that night. She took her blanket to the couch, curling up under the living room lamp. I stayed nearby, watching the windows. Something was coming, not me, but something darker. I could feel it, like static in the air. The next day was more of the same. Chris drove to a job interview, came back quiet. Rebecca cleaned the bathrooms, scrubbing tiles until her hands were red. Chloe went to school her first day at the new high school. She hated it. The kids stared, whispered. She ate lunch alone, texting her old friends who didn't reply. When she got home, she found her sketchbook open on her bed. A new drawing on the page, a figure with no face, standing in a doorway. She hadn't drawn it. Mom, someone's been in my room, she yelled. Rebecca was in the laundry room, folding towels. No one's been in there. Chloe, you probably left it open. I didn't. Chloe's voice cracked. She slammed the book shut and shoved it under her bed. That evening, the house felt heavier. The lights flickered during dinner. Spaghetti overcooked because Rebecca was distracted. Chris tried to joke about it, but no one laughed. After dinner, he checked the breaker box in the basement. I followed him down the creaky stairs. The air was damp, smelling of mold. He flipped switches, muttering about old wiring. Then he stopped, staring at the corner. A box of tools was tipped over, screws and nails scattered on the floor. Chloe, he called, thinking she was playing a prank. No answer. He cleaned it up, but I saw his hands shake. The night, I moved through the house, restless. The danger was closer now, not just in the house, but outside. I saw it through the windows, a shape in the yard, the tall, the still. It wasn't me. It was something else, watching them like I did. But it wasn't here to protect. Chloe woke up screaming. Rebecca and Chris ran to the living room, where she was on the couch. It was here, she sobbed. It was standing over me. Rebecca held her, looking at Chris. Just a nightmare, she said, but her eyes darted to the windows. I stayed close, my presence growing stronger. I had to be ready. I lingered in the corners, my form invisible, but my influence growing. The house held its breath as the family went through their days, unaware of the real threat lurking not within these walls, but approaching from outside. I knew it was coming for Chloe. I had to be ready. The third week brought a false sense of normalcy. Rebecca was busy with work calls, pacing the living room with her phone pressed to her ear. The market's tough, but this property has potential, she'd say. Her tone forced optimism. Chris spent hours in the home office, updating his resume, applying to jobs that never called back. The economy in 2025 was unforgiving, layoffs everywhere, bills piling up. They argued quietly at night about money, about the house they could barely afford. Chloe's school days dragged on. She sat in class, staring out the window at the gray sky, ignoring the teachers droning about history or math. Her mind was on Nadia, her best friend back in the old town, gone too soon from what the police called a drug overdose. Chloe didn't believe it. Nadia wasn't like that, but the guilt ate at her. They had argued the night before it happened. One afternoon, Chloe met him, Ryan. He was new too, tall with a charming smile, sitting next to her in English class. "Hey, I'm Ryan," he said, leaning over. "This place sucks." "Right," Chloe nodded, a small smile breaking through. "Yeah, total drag." They talked after class, walking the halls. Ryan was easy to talk to, funny, with stories about his old school. He made her laugh for the first time in weeks. When he asked for her number, she gave it without thinking. That evening, the house felt colder. "Tyler," Chloe's younger brother, was home from swim practice. I'd watched him till he was 14, lanky, with a bright future in sports. Scholarships were calling. He burst in, dripping water from his bag, complaining about the coach. He made us do extra laps. I'm starving. Rebecca heated up leftovers chicken and rice, bland but filling. During dinner, Chloe's phone buzzed. A text from Ryan. "Wanna hang this weekend?" She smiled, typing back yes. Chris noticed. "Who's that?" "Just a friend from school," Chloe said, blushing. Rebecca exchanged a look with Chris, but said nothing. They were glad she was making friends. But I knew better. I had seen Ryan before, in glimpses outside the house. He carried darkness, a shadow deeper than mine. I moved through the walls, trying to warn them. A door slammed shut upstairs when no one was there. Tyler jumped. "What was that?" "When?" Chris said. But he checked anyway. Empty. That night, Chloe texted Ryan late into the hours. He asked about her old life, about Nadia. "Sounds rough." He wrote, "I lost someone too." It made her feel connected. The next day was routine. Breakfast of cereal and toast. Chris driving the kids to school. Rebecca cleaning the kitchen counters for the third time that week. Does seem to settle faster here. In the afternoon, Tyler had practice again. Coming home exhausted, Chloe stayed after school with Ryan, sitting on the bleachers, talking. When she got home, her sketchbook was open again, this time to a drawing of a girl Nadia, smiling. Chloe swore she hadn't touched it. "This house is weird," she muttered. Rebecca overheard. "What's going on?" "Nothing," Chloe said, but her voice wavered. That evening, the lights flickered more violently during a family movie night. They were watching an old comedy on streaming, trying to bond. The screen went dark for a second, then back. "Must be the storm outside," Chris said, though the sky was clear. I was trying to show them. The air grew thick, pressing down. Chloe dreamed that night of Nadia, warning her, "He's not who you think." She woke sweating, heart racing. In the mirror, a shadow flickered again. She turned away, scared. The weekend came slow. Ryan invited Chloe over to his place, but she suggested the house instead. Parents were going out for a rare date night. Tyler was staying at a friend's. "Cool," Ryan texted. "Just us." Rebecca hesitated when Chloe told her, "I don't know him." "He's nice, Mom. Please." Rebecca relented. "Doors open, okay." As the parents left, I positioned myself in the living room, waiting. Ryan arrived, smiling, with a bag of snacks. They sat on the couch, watching a show. He offered her a drink soda. He said, "But I smelled it." The faint chemical tang. Chloe sipped, feeling dizzy soon after. "I don't feel good," she murmured. Ryan's smile changed, darker now. "It's okay. Just relax." I felt the moment build. He leaned in, his intentions clear, dangerous. I had to act. The room shook slightly. A vase tipping over. Ryan paused. "What was that?" Chloe mumbled, eyes heavy. I gathered my strength. The air, swirling. But not yet. The danger wasn't full. I waited, as always. I floated through the house, my essence tangled in the timelines, past and future blurring like fog on a window. I knew what was coming, even if I didn't understand how. The family was unraveling, threads pulling loose one by one, and I had to hold them together, or at least save her, Chloe. The days after the weekend dragged on, heavy with unspoken fears. Rebecca, wait. It was Rebecca, not Rebecca. The name shifted in my non-linear mind, was buried in her work. Phone calls about deals that skirted the edges of legality. She paced the kitchen, whispering into her headset, "The funds will clear. Don't worry about the audit." Her voice was calm, but her eyes darted, like she expected the walls to listen. And I was listening, always. Chris spent mornings in the basement, pretending to organize boxes but really staring at his laptop. Job sites open, no new emails. The economy was still tanking. Stocks down again, headlines about more layoffs. He made coffee, black and strong, sipping it slowly while the kids got ready for school. Tyler, myself, the boy who was me, before or after, slammed his door, backpack heavy with swim gear. Coach says I need better times for state, he grumbled. At breakfast, shoveling cereal into his mouth, Rebecca beamed at him. You'll crush it, Ty. You're the best. Chloe sat quietly, picking at her toast, her phone hidden under the table. Text from Ryan. Missed you yesterday. Party this free. She typed back, hesitant but excited. Nadia would have warned her. But Nadia was gone. Her death ruled a suicide, pills in her system. Chloe didn't believe it. Neither did I. School was the same grind. Tyler at practice, flipping turns in the pool, water splashing, coach yelling splits. Chloe in class, doodling in her notebook, shadows with eyes. Ryan waited for her after, leaning against lockers, smile to perfect. Hey, wanna grab coffee? They did. At the corner shop, steaming cups, small talk about music and movies. Ryan shared a story about his dad, the pharmacist. He doesn't notice when stuff goes missing. Chloe laughed, but I felt the chill. He was testing her. Back home, the house creaked under the weight. Rebecca cleaned the counters again, wiping circles with a rag. Dust that never stayed gone. Chris fixed dinner pasta with sauce from a jar. Salad on the side. Family time was tense. How was school? Chris asked. Fine, Tyler said. Chloe shrugged. Met up with Ryan. Rebecca raised an eyebrow. Tyler's friend Ryan. Yeah, he's cool. Tyler smirked. Don't get too attached. Sis, he's got issues. Chloe glared. Like you don't. The argument fizzled, but the air thickened. The night, Chloe and Ryan texted late. He sent a pic, him shirtless. Thinking of you. She blushed, sent one back, innocent. I hovered by her bed, willing the phone to die. But at DID in single quotes the week. Blurred, more calls for Rebecca. A tense conversation with her lawyer about exposure. Chris searching for therapists online, worried about Chloe. Tyler sneaking out with friends. Coming back smelling of beer. Chloe meeting Ryan after school. Kisses in his car. Hands wandering but stopping short. Then Friday. Parents out Rebecca on a business dinner. Chris tagging along reluctantly. Tyler at a party, but he promised to check in. Chloe invited Ryan over. Just to hang, she said. He arrived with a bag, snacks, a bottle, my dad's special mix. He joked. They watched a movie on the couch, some rom-com. But Ryan's hand on her thigh. They kissed, deeper. Upstairs to her room, clothes off. Awkward but urgent. I turned away, but stayed close. After, lying there, Ryan poured drinks. To us, Chloe sipped, feeling woozy fast. What's in this? Just relax, he said, voice changing, colder. He pulled out plastic wrap from his bag, the kind for food. But his intent was clear. You talked too much about Nadia. She talked too much too. Chloe's eyes widened, struggling. But the drug hit hard. You killed her, he grinned. And that other girl, quiet now. I surged, energy building. The room shook, a lamp falling. Ryan paused. What the? But it wasn't enough. I needed more. I flew downstairs, to Tyler's room. But he wasn't home. Wait, timeline shifting. In this moment, Tyler was out. But I woke myself. No, I had to act. The house groaned. I focused on the mirror, shattering it slightly. Chloe gasped weakly. Ryan wrapped the plastic over her face, her hands clawing. I poured all my presence into the door, slamming it open and shut, noise echoing. Tyler burst and he'd come home early. Forgotten his wallet or something mundane. Chloe, I heard. He saw. Tackled Ryan, fist flying, crashing into furniture. They tumbled toward the window, glass breaking, both falling out. Screams cut short on the ground below. Chloe ripped off the wrap, gasping, crawling to the window. Tyler, sirens later, lights flashing, Rebecca and Chris rushing back, horror on their faces. Police questions, Ryan dead, Tyler gone. Murder-suicide? No. Hero. But I lingered, watching Chloe cry. Safe now. The danger passed. But the cost. I drifted above the house, my essence fraying like a worn thread. The air was still now, the danger gone, but the cost clung to every corner. The family was broken, pieces scattered, and I, Tyler, or what was left of me, couldn't fix it. I had saved Chloe, but I couldn't stay much longer. The timelines were untangling, pulling me towards something else. The days after the attack were gray, heavy with silence. Rebecca stopped answering her phone. The deals, the clients, the lies. About money, they didn't matter anymore. She sat at the kitchen table, staring at a mug of cold coffee, the same one she poured hours ago. Crumbs from breakfast toast littered the counter, untouched since morning. Chris was worse. He moved like a ghost himself, packing Tyler's swim trophies into a box, his hands slow, deliberate, each trophy gold, silver, engraved with Tyler. First place, 50 meters freestyle was a stab. He didn't cry, but his eyes were red, hollow. Chloe stayed in her room, door locked. She didn't go to school. The police had come and gone, their questions endless. What happened? Why was Ryan there? Did Tyler know? They ruled it a murder attempt. Tyler the hero, Ryan the monster. The news ran a story. Local teen saves sister, dies in struggle, but it felt empty. Chloe didn't read it. She sat on her bed, clutching Tyler's old hoodie, the one he wore to practice. It still smelled like chlorine and him. She whispered, "Why did you do that, Ty? Why you?" The house was quieter now. No creaks, no flickers. I'd use all my strength at night, slamming the door, breaking the mirror, waking Tyler just in time. I didn't know how I did it, only that I had to. My memories were jumbled past, present, future, all mixed. I was Tyler, but also more, a presence tied to the house, to Chloe, to the moment I died in another life, pushing her out of harm's way. Or was it Nadia? The lines blurred. Rebecca started packing. "We can't stay here," she told Chris. One night, her voice flat. They were in the living room, surrounded by half-filled boxes. The TV was off, the couch still dented from where Chloe and Ryan had sat. "This place, it's wrong." Chris nodded, folding a blanket. "Where do we go? Anywhere. Back to the city, somewhere small. I don't care." Chloe overheard, standing at the top of the stairs. "I'm not leaving," she said, voice sharp. "Tyler's here." Rebecca turned, startled. "Honey, Tyler's gone." "No, he's not," Chloe shouted, tears spilling. "I feel him. He saved me. He's still here." Chris stood, reaching for her, but she backed away. "Chloe, it's just grief. We're all hurting." She ran to her room, slamming the door. I followed, hovering by her bed. She pulled out her sketchbook, flipping to the last page, a drawing of Tyler, smiling, his swim goggles around his neck. She hadn't drawn it. I had, somehow, pushing through the haze of time to leave or something. The next day, a woman came to the house, Lisa, a friend of Rebecca's from work, who claimed she felt things. Rebecca called her out of desperation, hoping for answers. Lisa walked through the house, her hands outstretched, eyes half closed. She stopped in Chloe's room, near the broken mirror. "There's something here," she said softly. "Not evil, protective. It loves you." Chloe stared, hope flickering. "Is it Tyler?" Lisa hesitated. "It's complicated. Spirits don't always fit our timelines. But it's tied to you, Chloe. It saved you." Rebecca frowned. "So it's not dangerous?" "No," Lisa said. "But it's fading." It did what it needed to. That night, Rebecca couldn't sleep. She wandered downstairs, the house dark except for a sliver of moonlight. She stopped at the hallway mirror, the one they hadn't replaced. In it, she saw her reflection and behind her, Tyler. His face was clear, his eyes sad but warm. She gasped, turning, but no one was there. The mirror was empty again. Tyler, she whispered, tears falling. Thank you. I felt her words, a pull toward peace. The house was letting me go. I moved to Chloe's room one last time. She was asleep, clutching Tyler's hoodie. I brushed her cheek, a faint chill, and she stirred, smiling faintly. The family moved out a week later. Boxes loaded into a rented truck, the house left empty. Again, Rebecca took one last look, her hand on the doorframe. Goodbye, Ty, she whispered. I watched them drive away, the SUV shrinking down the street. The house stood silent, waiting for the next family, the next story. I was free now, my purpose done. The light called, or maybe it was just the absence of weight. I let go, ascending. Dissolving into the air. The danger was gone. So was I.